my friends, look who's back again. Here's something interesting. I saw this at my local Trader Joe's and I was a sucker. I just couldn't help myself. I wanted to try it. Of course, me being the ube fanatic that I am. So it seems like a rare find, and I actually found it on accident at a store that I don't even frequent. Why don't we give it a shot? Ube pancakes. There's a recipe on the back. You can make pancakes or waffles. We're just gonna make pancakes today. Come over here, Mr. Cameraman. You can do them in a batch of 4, 8, or 12 pancakes. So let's just make 4 today since it's just the 2 of us. Let's do it. Okay, time to assemble the mix. According to these directions, to make 4 4-inch pancakes, you need 3/4 of a cup of the mix, 1 egg, and 1 tablespoon of oil or butter. I'm using butter. Water. I'm not gonna show the water on camera, but you know what it looks like. Let's mix this all together. By the way, I think you need to melt the butter before you start, so let's just pop that in the microwave right quick. Butter's melted, let's do this. So we'll add the mix. We'll add 1 egg, add the water. Oh, check that out. You can see the little purple flecks there. And then 1 tablespoon of butter. Let's mix that all together. Look at that, that's a beautiful color. See, I dogged the Trader Joe's ube ice cream so hard, so maybe they were like, we're not gonna get her this time. We're gonna give her the best ube flavor she's ever had in her life. I'm sure they didn't think of me. Okay, that's it. Mix made. Why don't we go grill it up and see how it goes? Perfect pancakes cooking away. Okay, so they're not the prettiest, but whatever. And that's pretty much it. That's really, really fast and quick, and I'm surprised. So check this out. All right, time to taste. Let's see. Sorry, I already spread, I used the same knife to spread butter on it at first. So, or should I cut it over here? Okay, let me cut it so y'all can see. Cut a little sliver of all 4 layers. Yeah, all 4 layers, why not? Here, let me take a bite that I can manage right here. Check that out. All right, get some of the syrup. Let's go. It took a while for me to find the ube flavor because the first thing I tasted was the butter and the maple syrup. Let me try without adding extra syrup on it. It has a nice crunchy texture on the outside, but the inside is kind of chewy and fluffy. I think it's because they add mochiko flour to the mix, so it kind of has that bouncy texture, which is nice. But it's kind of sweet because I added all that syrup. It's good. Okay, Trader Joe's. I think you did well. I think you did great on this. But I'm still kind of missing the strong ube flavor, that strong Filipino identity in this. I think it's missing. So, I wonder, could I make something like this? And what would I do differently? let me put my thinking cap on. For my version of ube pancakes, my goal is to celebrate the ube, to place the ingredient at the forefront. Although generally, ube itself is quite a subtle flavor, I still don't think it's prominent enough in the Trader Joe's version to stand out. So, here's what I came up with. Tools to start: a weight scale and a mixing bowl. I like using the weight scale for the dry ingredients, but you can also use volumetric measurements if you prefer. I'll leave all of the measurements for you in the description. My pancakes are adapted from a recipe that I love and use quite often, from a blog called Cafe Delites. I'll leave a link for that as well down in the description. For the dry ingredients, I am using an even mix of all-purpose flour and mochiko flour, which the Trader Joe's version uses. I accidentally measured too much all-purpose flour there, so I'm taking some away here. Okay, back to the recipe. Just dropping in the mochiko flour now. Sugar is next. I know sugar is usually considered a wet ingredient, but since I'm using my weight scale to measure, I'm adding it in during the dry portion. A few more dry ingredients to add: baking powder, baking soda, and salt. Now you could mix all the dry together at this point, but I'm just going to keep going. For the wet ingredients, we have milk. This is whole milk, dairy milk, by the way. I'm sure you could substitute a non-dairy milk such as almond milk or coconut milk too if you're not drinking dairy. Now we have apple cider vinegar. Have you ever heard of the trick of adding apple cider vinegar to milk to make a buttermilk substitute? That's what I'm doing here. I love the tanginess the apple cider vinegar brings, so it's going in. And I gotta clean up my mess too while I'm at it. Now, melted butter, 1 large egg, vanilla extract. So far seems all well and dandy, a pretty standard pancake recipe, so where does the ube come in? Think I gotta take a trip to the store. Hang on. Okay, back in the kitchen. Ube extract. The amount you add is up to your discretion, but a safe bet for this recipe is between 1/4 teaspoon to 1/2 teaspoon. I only added 1/4 teaspoon to start out. Now let's give it a mix. You could totally mix the wet ingredients in a separate bowl and then incorporate them into the dry, but I don't find that necessary here since it usually comes together quite well for me without that step. Your call though. Boy, does that look pretty. That purple color gets me every time. But I don't think just using ube extract is enough. There's not enough ube. Not enough real ube. So we have got to add real ube. I've prepared some ahead of time. I peeled 2 medium-sized purple yams, then cut them up into 1-inch pieces, and they boiled for about 20 minutes. I let them cool down so that they're easier to work with. If you remember from my other video where I made ube jam, my fingers were on fire because I didn't let those suckers cool down. Yeesh! It's best if you mash up the ube, or in my case, I used my food processor to break them down, so that it's a nice and smooth paste that's easy to combine with the pancake batter. If you recall from the last time I worked with ube, I mashed these babies by hand and oh boy, that was an adventure. I processed enough to yield about 1 cup of ube, maybe a little more. And now it's ready to mix in. I added in another 1/4 teaspoon of ube extract too, just because I wanted a slightly deeper purple color. Ooh, that's thick. Add the pureed ube and mix it all together. Now it's time to take it to the griddle. As you saw in the earlier segment, this is a well-used pan, so don't judge me. I used a silicone brush to lightly grease the griddle before spooning out the pancake mix. I'd say about a quarter cup or so of the pancake mix for one sounds about right. Chunky, isn't it? Don't worry about it. Lumps in pancakes, no big deal. Let those cook. I should follow my own advice. I really should have just let them cook, because I got a little eager and turned over those bottom two a little too quickly, so yeah, just don't look at them. Don't look. Let's plate them up. We could serve the pancakes just like we did the Trader Joe's version by adding a pat of butter and a drizzle of maple syrup. That would be totally fine, but also, I'm the type to go the extra mile. Let's cut up a mango! A flower shape. And oh, have you ever heard of this trick before? Making whipped cream out of coconut milk? I learned this one when I was cooking vegan food for a while. Keep a can of coconut milk chilled upside down in the fridge overnight. Why upside down? If you open it up on the opposite end, all the fat is on that side. You want to scoop out that delicious fat and whip it up. You can use a hand or a stand mixer. I don't know if I would recommend whisking by hand though, as that could be tiring. As you'll see, this does take a while to whip up, so it'll start looking a little chunky and a little scary. It's not gonna look like whipped cream at all, but trust me, just be patient, give it time, and it'll eventually whip up. See? I told ya. Look how fluffy. Okay, this is what you came for, I know. Let's do this. Let's dress up these homemade ube pancakes. A layer of nicely diced mango. A dollop of coconut whipped cream. A drizzle of the ube sweetened condensed milk. This is acting like our syrup. Also, we're just being totally extra and over the top at this point, and I like it. And for garnish and a little crunch, toasted coconut granola. Sprinkle that all over. There you go. Enjoy! Okay, and after all of that, this is my interpretation of how to make ube pancakes. Now, I had a little misfortune. The whipped cream fell over, but it's okay. We're still gonna eat it. It still looks tremendous. Or it's been a few minutes since I made it, so it's been kind of just sitting around, so it's not as pretty, but it's okay. And let's give it a shot. Slice into it. Get a nice little sliver. Get a bite of everything, the mango, the coconut whip, and then the ube condensed milk. Oh, there it goes. Cheers. Now that's how you do pancakes. Oh my gosh, this is so good. Mango, the crunchy granola. The deep ube flavor. Now this is really, really good. You gotta try this. And I just made it up. I just made it up right now. No, I didn't, but the mango adds nice different texture. The crunchy granola, the coconut whipped cream feels like you're about to have breakfast on the island. This is good. I swear, I'm not just hyping it up because I made it. I honestly think you honestly have to try this. It's so good. It's great. That's it. Thank you for watching. If you liked this video, please be sure to give one of these. Leave me a comment, let me know what you think. And of course, tell all your friends and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.